Hello. I've been wanting to speak on something. Been on my mind since I've been back. I went to Boston back in October 19th through the 21st to the 27th Lance's 45th Legacy Reunion. Man, was it totally fantastic! It was just so great. A little difficult for me to travel that time. I was under a little discomfort, but once I got there, I mean, it was just so wonderful. I mean, and uplifting. It was just so beautiful to see all my old friends, and it's a beautiful thing. And it was just totally wonderful. My wife got to go see such wonderful people. It was just totally fantastic. And after getting back, I happened to see there was something written and in regards to the later corps in the 80s and how they felt maybe a little slighted, but keeping in mind that this was the legacy, and it goes back from 1968 to 1986. So we're talking about that span. But we're talking about a time when 1950, 1960s, and when it was tremendous, whereas we were all inner city kids, man. And we come together. You have inner city kids from all different cultures. Nothing can be farthest from the truth that the most beautiful thing is to raise up in a multicultural society, whether it be the inner city or whatever, because you get to interact with everyone, all nationalities and creeds. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And we got to do that in Boston, in the environment, competing in drum corps in the South End and Holy Trinity. I mean, it is totally a godsend. And to be able to talk about that, and then when you get together, this is what you happen to see. You see people coming together and all of that nostalgia and energy, man. It was just overwhelming. And thinking back at the day, when you think back at the day, I'm 9 years old. We're at Holy Trinity Cadets in Boston, and we're in the South End. And it's a multicultural area then. You know, you had drum corps like the Gatesmen, and they were down in the South End. But you had Chinese, German, Irish, Native American, every gamut, Italian. We all together in African American. We loved each other. We just all got together. Never were there ever hassle. And to learn and interact with all the cultures, it was a beautiful thing. We're alpha males, and all to come together to play music and develop. And the talent was just totally outstanding. Keep in mind, I met Bob Devlin. He was about maybe 14 at the time. Here, he comes in the hall, black hair, nice little guy, got his jacket on, Holy Trinity jacket, he had sticks in his hand. He said, "Why don't you play something?" This man, he picked up these sticks, he had big hands, you know, and the seamless flow. It's just unbelievable. And at the time, I just found out that Jack's Drum Shop is closed. That's an institution. Jack's Drum Shop back then, everybody congregated to Jack's Drum Shop. Bobby worked there when he was young, maybe 12, maybe 14, 15. I know he got Jim Buckley a job where they were there working when he was with the Crusaders, I believe so. Jim worked there for a while. That was the drummer's drum shop, and not just drummers. The musicians would come in there. When any big name would come into town, because you had Paul's Ball, you had Jack's, you had the Jazz Workshop, Lenny's on the Pike, all the great jazz houses, and musicians would come in. Buddy Rich, all the big names, and they'd give clinics. And so Bob and these guys were exposed to that. And of course, you had Berkeley School of Music, where they all went to study. And Jerry Shelma, Bob Devlin, myself, and Jim Buckley, and Arthur Kerwin, Paul DeBazio, you know, and I said Jerry Shelma. Now, Jerry taught a lot of drum corps. You know, he made a living teaching drum corps. But it was Prince and Prince and the Crusaders was his primary. Then he had a multi others, but he made a living. He used to drive Cadillac. So Arthur Kerwin taught the Beverly Cardinals, and of course Paul DeBazio, the Reveries and the 27th Lancers, and then later 27th Lancers, and I think he had a couple other corps that Paul taught also. But Jim Buckley taught the junior corps. Back then, a junior corps, it would start about maybe in the morning at 9 o'clock. You'd have the Class C corps, Class B corps, and Class A corps. It run all the way to 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, Class A corps. So even longer than that, because there were so many drum corps competing. and then have an afternoon of CYO, and then maybe an afternoon of Eastern Mass. The Eastern Mass was the secular side, not connected to the church. So you had the Catholic Youth Organization that had drum corps, and you had Eastern Mass had drum corps, and they'd have competitions on the weekends in different stages. And so you, at any given time, there's drum corps activity going on all over. Phenomenal. Kids aren't getting in trouble. Kids were doing creative things. Man, do I wish we had the inner cities like that today. It's my longing that maybe with all that's going on Facebook, we got all these great social networks now, African Americans in drum corps, all the great Americans in drum corps, from all the Eastern corps and the Jersey corps. Oh man, fantastic. And then, you know, the Jurassic Lancers and the real open Lancers, all of this great stuff, man. Maybe it's my dream and hope that this comes back again. It needs to come back. It really does. It needs to come back. But there was no slight with the 1980s and 1986. It's just that the phenomenal energy that created what you were able to do. That's why the forces of energy was just so nostalgic, because of the time and the elements and the excellence. Drum corps then was a different kind of drum classic era of playing. Drum corps was highlighted, rudimental drumming was very highlighted then as a medium in itself. Not so much today, it's more supportive of a musical show. But then it was very, very featured, and of course the things that were done and played were far more phenomenal rudimental exposés. No two ways about that. And so we would go down. I'd pick snap on a drum, 9 years old, and Bob would go downstairs, and he was 14 years old. He's talking about preliminary upswing. And he's saying that there's no such thing, really. You don't want to come back here. Keep the sound. He's talking about eliminating preliminary upswing, right down on the drum. In the left hand. Left hand is what I just want to talk about. I'm only going to give you a little excerpt because God gives you a left hand. And then, if you're fortunate enough to be able to get over the hump, you go to the next level. But certain geometry of the thumb has to be flat, and you have to have an area in here, not to choke the stick. But the stick is not choked. Jersey drummers, a lot of them do, but once you do this, the real deal is the nerve control center in here. The stick has to feel like loved. And it has to be nurtured from below, not from above. Years, just years. Just years, right from here. Make it come alive. You just do it. Just do it. It has to be like a piano. That's the call. That's the call. That's the call. It has to match the sound. It has to match the sound. It's too overt. You will not get it. You will not be able to get to the point where you'll be able to control rudiments and so fast and speed and feel beautiful about playing. Nerve control center. That is not loose. That is control. You want to control the sound. And then you want it to come alive. So the nerve can come alive. Keep practicing it. It's a beautiful thing. But I don't want to belabor that. The left hand, it's a gift from God. But you have to take it, one more. You cannot practice the left hand like this. The left hand has to come from here. That's all you do. Here. There we go. Right off the drum head. Right off. Comes up. Now, that being said, that Bob would talk about this coming down from his muscles and, you know, the skeletal structure, the nerves, and all of this, you know. And Jim Buckley, the hand. It was a flow of talent. It was just, you know, and the Houtman, they picked this up. The Houtman picked this up. Now, we're baby boomers. So, with that time, it was a great time. Look what we accomplished in our time, you know. I self-indulged. A lot of us self-indulged. You know, we got to, you know, me generation. You know, we did things and we got aggressive and overindulgent. I know I did. I did things that I regret today. But, you know, we made an impact. And we were winners. And we won. We built a great world. Today, young people don't want to do mathematics. Look at the country right now. They don't want to read and write. And it's going to other people in other parts of the world. This is America, man. What's going on here? Okay? And so it's my hope that drum corps just will rise again. Father Robert J. Carr, George Bonfiglio, these men, man, they inspire you, you know, and they expected excellence and they got it. It's as simple as that, you know. And the getting back to the reunion, that energy was all that everybody felt, and no one was slighted, but you have to understand that the core that came after was because of the core before. And it was a spirit that we hope that comes back again, because this country sorely needs that. This country sorely needs that. And the dedicated practice that was put forth among all of the young people involved, it was just horrendous. I mean, it was just a great time. So I just wanted to speak on that, and it's my hope that we will at some point pick this banner back up again, and drum corps will start to pick up again in the inner cities, because I think that's the saving grace. Thank you.